What's up, guys? Welcome back to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta. Say hey, Vendetta.
Hello.
Hello. That's right. And welcome back to our Hearthstone series here, our Deckbuilder series. This is the 8th of 9 classes, I think. Wow,
Yeah.
we've done a lot of these. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're covering the priest today, and as we usually do at the top of each of these videos, we'll give you guys a a brief rundown of what we do. We're basically just going to show you two different decks. One's a low budget to low to mid budget version, and the later one in the video is going to be a higher budget version. And then of course we're just going to show you some gameplay in the background using each of the decks so you can get a peek at them and see how they work. Disclaimer is these are not meant to be, oh my gosh, you have to use these decks because if you don't, then you suck at the game, obviously. That's not what they're for. It's just, yeah, it's just these are some of the cards that we have and combinations that we found to be useful in getting gold and completing daily quests and such like that. So without further ado, we'll start things off on the low budget side, and I think our first card here is Holy Smite. Yes?
Holy Smite. Yeah. It's a...
You want to say something else, I know.
Yeah, I do. It's a 1 cost. It does 2 damage to anything. It's really good early game removal. It used to not be so popular, and I think almost all priests run it now. Although, that being said, you don't really see priests that much anymore.
It's a true story, yeah. But I mean, by the time, maybe you're watching this later on, and maybe they've come back around in the meta as, the meta changes with this game about every, day. So it's kind of crazy. But yes, early game removal was fantastic. So, and on the flip side of removal, though, we have, of course, buffs, which covers our next card, which is Power Word Shield. This card is fantastic. Just gives a flat, 2 health buff to a target minion, and you get a card draw on top of that. So it replaces itself instantly and improves the health of one creature. Fantastic card at pretty much any time, early, mid, late. This can change the state of the board, and just a really great card. And after that, well, we have Northshire Cleric, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the most dreaded of all priest cards. Well, maybe not really.
Yeah. It's up there, though.
Yeah, it's so whenever you heal a minion, this card, with its out on the deck, has the ability to grant you another card.
Yeah, this is a great little card draw thing. Really annoying, mainly for that 3 health, I think is the biggest problem, and the fact that you get it out on turn 1.
Yeah.
That is a problem. When you can get this guy out there, and especially if you follow it up on the next turn with a Power Word Shield, it's almost guaranteed to survive a hit and therefore be a target for a heal. So kind of crazy, and really, really nice, though, also if you can get this card protected, later on, maybe using like a Defender of Argus like we have later in the deck. So pretty cool. And what's after that?
Shadow Word Pain. This destroys any minion with 3 or less attack. I'm sure everyone on the face of the planet has seen this card played on them. It's one of the most annoying things about the priest. But if you're playing a priest, one of the best.
Yeah, really, really strong. Obviously, this is hard removal, and it's a horrible thing to see when you're playing against them, but something you love having in your hand, especially if your enemy pulls out something like a Gurbashi Berserker, or even its favorite target, in my opinion, the old Senjin Shieldmaster. This is the excellent Senjin Shieldmaster removal card here. Fantastic card at 2 mana, just dumps everything, and great way to catch back up and get yourself some board control rather. For presence, though, you need to put minions on the board, and we can start doing that with our next card, which we have a couple of our staple favorites here. If you've been following the series, this is one of them, Acidic Swamp Ooze. Like carrying a couple of these cards in our decks, mainly to deal with weapons, obviously, but also just because it's a 3-2. 3-2 for 2, does good damage, get something out on the board, and you really can't beat it. It passes the vanilla test of having more than it's double its mana cost in stats. So excellent card there. And comparatively with that one, our other favorite early drop is Ye Olde Fairy Dragon. Why do we like him so much?
Because he can't be targeted by spells or hero abilities.
Yes,
All right.
He lasts. He sticks around. If you're playing against a priest, they can't use the Shadow Word Pain on this card. If you're playing against the mage, they can't ping it. They can't do anything except hit it with another minion or AoE it if you're in a little bit later in the game. But this is why it's fantastic. Or a weapon. Yeah, that's a good point. But then again, you have the Swamp Ooze for that, and hopefully you didn't, play the Fairy Dragon when they have a weapon. So.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we have Shadow Word Death. This kills any minion, 5 attack or greater. This is another hard removal. fantastic card for your late game. It's just really, really good. For 3 mana, you really can't beat this card.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's it's a soft target assassinate, in my opinion, because you may not want to use this card as much as you would want to turn off something else you would use assassinate on, like with a rogue. But at three mana, it's beautiful. I mean, I love the mana cost on it. The only problem is, of course, it has to have 5 attack or better. But you can do some cool stuff with that. Like later on, I think we got a Dark Iron Dwarf in this deck. You can use a card like that to buff another minion, take it over that 5 attack threshold, and then kill it with this card. So, and I think actually in one of our playthroughs here, actually, we have that dynamic in one of these games that we're going to showcase here. So keep an eye on that. And moving on from there, we have a little bit more card draw on this deck, is the Acolyte of Pain. I just like this card a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's fantastic, especially in a priest deck. When you can buff it up with Power Word Shield, and or even Defender of Argus if you want to, although that makes it a target. But you want this card to take hits. That's the beautiful thing. This is a card that your enemy will try to spend removal on, will try to spend big hits on to get it off the board as fast as possible, so you can't get more than one draw off of it. And anytime you're changing the way your opponent thinks, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, and another beautiful thing about it being in this particular deck is that you can heal it. So it's not going to die right away.
Yeah, really, really nice. Really, really nice for that. So, and after that another staple favorite of ours is the old Harvest Golem. This card's great just because it's almost a guaranteed 2-for-1 unless it gets silenced. This card is fantastic for that. It always leaves behind its damage component once it gets killed in the first place. Another great target for buffs, another great target for heals if it hasn't been destroyed once already. Fantastic card.
Yeah, moving on, we have the Questing Adventurer. We kind of felt like in this deck that questing worked well because we have a lot of early game. So, pull out a couple of those cards, get this guy buffed up right away.
Yeah, this card works best in decks that have a lot of low-cost cards, just because you want to be able to throw this thing out. It's not really something you really want to play on turn 3. I don't even consider it a turn 3, minion.
No.
But later on, you throw this out on mid to late game and follow it up with a couple more plays, and it can start becoming obnoxious really fast. Another card you could play alongside with this one to buff it up double strength really quick is the old Shattered Sun Cleric. This again is another one of our staple favorites. That the buff, the +1/+1 buff, is fantastic. Great targeted buff. It's not something that you can use with the that Shadow or Death combo we were talking about earlier because it's friendly minions only. But still, this is a really good card that changes up the math and screws with your opponent's ability to take down your cards efficiently. So really strong card. I love that one. And then for a priest one, we've got a really fun one next.
Yeah, Shadow Madness. This is a 4-drop. It's really interesting. It lets you gain control of any enemy minion with 3 attack or less for that turn. So it's really fun to take someone's Leopard Gnome and use it against them, and the damage effect actually hits the enemy and not you because you have control.
Yeah, very, very cool. And also, if a Death Rattle effect goes off, from the card, like if you take their minion and then you kill it, you get its Death Rattle effect as well because you were the owner of the card when it died. So you can take some really fun cards with this and have a good time with it. Really neat card. After that, another staple. Again, we have a lot of staples. I'm saying that word a lot. I apologize. Chillwind Yeti. This guy's great. Not too sexy. Nothing crazy on his card text at all. In fact, all of his card text is invisible because there isn't any. But hey, 5 health, for 4 mana, you can't beat it. And if you happen to be playing against a priest, it starts off with the old 4 attack power, which is impossible to remove for those hard removal spells. Really, really hefty minion, and is excellent for that. And then I think we got a couple of those nice utility minions we've been talking about already, right?
Yeah, that's right. We got the Dark Iron Dwarf up next. This guy's a 4/4, gives +2 attack for 1 turn. We were talking about those Shadow Word Death removals earlier with this guy, and it's still just a really good card. We have found some utility in having him, so we've kept him around.
Yeah, we used this card a lot back in the day before it was nerfed, because it used to be that the attack buff lasted forever, but now it doesn't, and it's actually kind of better because you can target an enemy minion with it, and it only lasts that 1 turn, so that's kind of cool. Really, really nice. And then I think probably one of my personal favorites on the rare side, Defender of Argus. This card wins games. It's fantastic. You know, given that buff, the +1/+1 and taunt to 1 or 2 of your own minions can really change the priority list order for your opponent and what they want to or what they must take down first before they can move on and target the things they really need to. So this is a fantastic card, and I like to carry at least one of these in pretty much any deck.
Agreed.
And then back onto a priest card.
Yeah, we're going to have a light spawn in this deck. This is a really obnoxious card to try to get rid of, just because it's reliant solely on its health for its damage. So that means if you buff it with, say, Power Word Shield, it gets stronger. Also,
yeah.
if you heal it, you know, if it's taken some damage, it loses some attack, but you can heal it to give it more attack. So
yeah, really, really powerful card. And also what's interesting about this one, and it's important to remember, is that statistic where it says it's always relying on that. So even if you try to use some other card ability to overwrite this one's, like change its attack to 1 or any of that kind of crazy stuff, this card text is still here as long as it hasn't been silenced. So this card text wins. At least I'm pretty sure that's how this works. Am I wrong?
No, you're correct, because I actually tried to outdoor Peacekeeper a light spawn and you fail miserably.
Yeah, because that word always screws with you, and it's going to win every time. So unless you silence this card, in which case it's a doorstop, then it's always going to have that nice attack equal to health. So pretty cool card. And last few ones here for this deck, an absolute rock-solid favorite that must be in pretty much any priest deck, Holy Nova. This is your standard board clear. Comes with it paired a nice ability to heal everything on your side, including yourself. Pretty cool. Like that a lot.
Yep.
And at 5 cost, it's right in line with any other board clear. This is great. We carry 2 of them here. And also carrying 2 of the next card, which is, I think, one of my personal favorite priest cards for sure.
Yeah, Temple Enforcer. It's a 6/6 with the ability to give a minion +3 health.
Yeah. Yes, health. Very, very important. Again, this card messes with math. Makes it hard to get rid of. You drop this on a previously placed light spawn, or even one you place with it on turn 10. Things can get out of hand in a hurry. You know, so really cool card there, and helps keep things alive. And paired with the priest's heal ability, it's just awesome monster card. And then everyone's least favorite card in the world that used to be 8 mana but is now 10 is Ye Old Mind Control. We have 1 in this deck. I normally don't recommend carrying more than 1 of these anyway, I think, because 10 mana cards when you have more than 1 of them are kind of weird.
Yeah, if I was any other class, I'd probably carry a Deathwing, honestly. If you want a 10 cost card and you have one, carry Deathwing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but in this case, with a priest, this is a card that people will play around, and assume that you have it. So have it, because it's fun, And with that pretty much wraps up the low-budget version of the deck. So have fun with this one here. And I think next we're going to have some of these cards repeated again, of course, but we have some other fresh ones as well in the high-budget version. And we'll take a look at that now. So stay tuned. All right, so on the high-budget side here, we actually are starting off with a couple ones that we had previously. First one being Holy Smite. Again, great 2 damage, just turn something off early game, or pepper something down a little bit, weaken it so you can take it off with another creature or something in the late game. So still good to have here, and I think it has a welcome spot.
Absolutely.
As does next card, right?
Yeah, Power Word Shield. It gives 2 health to a minion, and it draws you a card. For 1 mana, can't really beat that.
No, not at all. Anytime you can spend 1 mana, get an effect, and it replaces itself, you gotta love that. So really excellent card, and no reason not to carry it even in a high-budget deck. And then, of course, again, we have a Northshire Cleric. Only 1 of them in the high-budget deck here, but still, it's a great card to have. Puts a little card draw, in the mix. Helps you get out of the drudges if you're missing some cards. So good one to have in there, and especially paired with things like Power Word Shield. So, and then more staples after that. I'm continuing with staples. I love them.
Sponsored by Staples.
Yeah. Oh, seriously.
The easy button. Ding.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, we're going with Shadow Word Pain.
This is the easy button. This card is the easy button.
That's right. This card is the easy button. Anything with 3 attack or less turns it off. Bam. Done.
Boom. Done. That's it. Carry 2 of them. You won't be sorry. Other people will be. Simple as that. And then moving on from there, again, one of the favorites that we want to have, Acidic Swamp Ooze. This card is great for turning off weapons. Even if they don't have a weapon, it's still a good early drop. So carry it, have it in your deck, be prepared. It's good to have. And then always good to have, of course, after that is the old Fairy Dragon.
That's right, 3/2. It's immune to spells and hero abilities. It's a very, very nice card. It works great in any situation. Yeah, I'm going to say it, any situation.
Pretty much any situation.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good card.
There's few situations where you wouldn't want to have a Fairy Dragon out there. Very, very nice card. And then I think this guy is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, the old Knife Juggler. I like the Knife Juggler here because we have a few early game nice 2-drop minions, and he just helps pepper in some more damage. I just like Knife Juggler, really.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun to have around, and this is a high priority target a lot of the times. You get this guy out, opponents get worried. They want to spend removal to get rid of this guy, so it might as well have taunt printed on it, in my opinion.
It's scary that you just read my mind, because that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, well, sometimes I hear that, you know, people think that we do a lot of videos together, so maybe that's going to happen from time to time. And so after Knife Juggler, another great one, Dat Pagel.
Dat Pagel.
There he is. This is the card draw minion. Fantastic, and again, also just works fantastically in priest decks when you can buff his health, you know, and keep him around even longer, and of course heal him when he takes damage. This is another card that basically has taunt written on it because your opponents definitely don't want to have free card draw just sitting out on the board. So fantastic, really, really fun card to have around. And you would want to get rid of it with a card like the next one, but it won't work on it.
Shadow Word Death. This 5 attack or more just turns off any minion. It's like a light assassinate, if you will. For 3 mana, you can't go wrong here, as we said before. Just a great card.
Yeah, really, really cool to have around. So, and then, of course, another fantabulous card, Harvest Golem. Works in pretty much any deck.
Yep.
I mean, we love these things. I mean, they're all over the place in our decks. You've been watching the series, and there's a reason. They're almost always a 2-for-1, and that's really what you want. So, moving from there, though, we've got a couple cards that are just fantabulous for Priest. Injured Blade Master. Why is this one so great?
This one is great because you have heals.
Yes, he starts off hurt, but you can make him not hurt.
Exactly. This guy was probably made famous by Artosis in the BlizzCon this year.
Yeah.
You started to see a lot of Injured Blade Masters after that tournament aired, but he had a good strategy, and it still works today.
Yep, absolutely. No reason not to include him here. Another card we had in the previous deck with is just excellent, Shadow Madness. This card's a lot of fun. You can just take a minion for 1 turn, and usually you destroy it on that turn by smashing it into something else that they have. So really, really fun. And again, the death rattles activate for you if you manage to kill the minion while you have control of it. So something to keep in mind, really fun card. And talking about switching things up a little bit, Actonai Soul Priest. This guy's crazy. Yeah,
he turns your hero ability from healing to damage, so you can ping something off for 2 damage, which is pretty cool. He's also a 3/5, so he's not easy to get rid of.
Exactly, yeah. He already has great stats, and he comes with that really cool ability that basically gives you a double mage ping. You gotta love that. So pretty neat card there. And speaking of neat, again, one of our favorites from before, Defender of Argus. Carry these guys. They do work. +1/+1 and taunt, you know, to 2 creatures, or, you know, if you can get it out for 2. Fantastic card, and I would always want these in my deck without fail, pretty much.
Yeah, we're running 2 of them here just because they're so good.
So good, yes.
And moving on, we have the Light Spawn. He's a 5/5, and his his attack is reliant directly upon his health.
Yeah, we just talked about this one on the low-cost version of the decks if you haven't been watching the whole video. Fantastic card, especially when you can buff it and, of course, heal its health back to maintain that attack damage. So fun card there. And after that guy, we've got the Holy Nova that pretty much everyone should always carry in any priest deck ever, because it's your basic board clear. You have to have these. They're fantabulous. They, you know, give you back some health too. Always have them.
Value
really
Nova.
Nice. Value Nova, yeah. And if you can manage to have this next card out when you do it, it's even more powerful, right?
That's right. The Azure Drake. This is a 4/4 plus spell damage, plus it draws you a card. Pretty awesome.
Everything you could want. Okay, I'd rather it be 5/5. Fine. But, you know, you get spell damage and it replaces itself. I'm not going to complain. Fantastic card. And moving from there, you got a Holy Fire in this deck, which is a burn card where you can just rock 5 damage off something while also restoring 5 health to yourself. So really, really nice way to flip the tables by 10 damage. If you target the enemy hero with this, they lose 5, you gain 5. It's a really quick swing. And if you haven't managed to carry a couple of these, if you make room for them in your deck, it can be really crazy. But really good card there. And then after that guy is a card we've been seeing a lot more actually in the meta lately, I think.
Yeah, Karen Bloodhoof. And as for some of the other cards we've mentioned before, this guy has an awesome death rattle. He replaces himself. For 6 mana, that's super value.
Yeah, you basically get 2 Yetis for the price of 1.5 Yetis.
Winning.
That's basically what this card is. As long as he doesn't get silenced, and granted, he is kind of a silenced target, you know, but hope maybe you get him silenced, and then you have something else that you can pull out that, you know, they blew their silence on, and now they're really upset, you know?
It's a buy one, get one Yeti.
It is. It truly is.
Go Yeti.
I think it should actually just spawn a Yeti in its place, because that's you know, that's what you're getting. I mean, come on, let's be real. But it's a great card, guys, and it's excellent in the 6th slot. Fantastic card. And speaking of fantastic cards, again, something else we pulled over from the previous deck, but that has every reason to be here. Temple Enforcer. This card is just... I love it. I love cards that buff health. If you haven't noticed that,
yeah,
I'm big on that.
It's a 6/6, and it gives 3 health to any minion on the board.
Yeah, so it's really, really nice, and you can put it on something on your side to bring it back out of the danger zone, or even make just something that's already healthy really healthy. So something really, really nice to keep in mind there. And then, of course, we have your favorite ledge in the deck.
By fire be purged, Ragnaros.
Yes, love Rag.
Rag is awesome.
We don't even need to talk about this card, really. Everybody knows Rag. Because everyone's faced Rag, and everyone hates it when they face Rag.
I have golden Rag.
Oh, I know. You're giddy sauce about it, too. I would be as well, but I have no golden legendaries at all because I'm worthless.
Yeah, you have King Crush.
I do have King Crush, but he's not gold.
Right.
So, but rounding out this deck here, guys, is we just put another Mind Control in here again, just 1 copy. And just to give you that extra late game push in case somebody puts something out there on you in the late stage of the game and you just want to solve the problem. So take that away, and then, yeah, that's pretty much that, guys. So hopefully you learned something here with this series and this about the Priest, and you'll apply this to your low budget or high budget aspirations. And stay tuned. We'll have more of these coming, or at least one more, right?
Yeah, we're going to use a Warlock here soon.
Yeah. All right. Stay tuned, guys. We'll see you soon.